Okay, this is a personal video. Usually I like to focus on tabletop role-playing games, but I want to make a personal video so you can get to know me just a bit better. I am not a weak person. I'm pretty confident. I know I can be honest, and fair-minded people will always, they'll be fair. They'll be what they are. And I know no matter what mistakes you make, people won't hold it against you forever. That's just how it is. And every video I put out is not just to be liked or to get more of a following, right? It's not always about growing on here. That's not what these things are about. I just like to be real, and I can be. There are certain mistakes that if people made, they'd stop making YouTube videos. It would break them. They would lose their confidence completely on here. If people made comments about their background, they fold. If people went on about how they looked in a video, they fold. They have no idea how it works on here, and a lot of people think in the short term, right? They think, oh man, it's over. It's all over. What am I going to do? They panic. They run away. I don't, because I'm not weak like other people. I'm very confident, very extremely confident, and because of that, I can be honest with you in a way that other people can't be. There are mistakes that if people made, they would just bury their heads in the sand. They'd be gone. You probably never hear from them again, or it would be a long time before they would ever speak up. They'd be ashamed. There's nothing to be ashamed about if you make a mistake. We're human. And not everyone out here is as judgmental as people think that they are. They really are. Not everyone out here is out here to hate you. Even people that like you can get embarrassed for you. They can almost want to bury their own heads in the sand because they like you and they're like, oh no, it's over for him. But it's that they just don't get it. Some people just don't get it. I've been doing public speaking for decades. I've been doing YouTube for over 10 years, and I really understand how these things work. And I understand that if you just have confidence in who you are, and you come out and you be honest with people, the right people will get it. Sometimes I've gotten lost in the mix. I'm not perfect just because I'm confident. I'm not beyond weakness, right? Just like everyone else. I don't say it as if I'm above you. I'm as weak as you can be. I used to react to things that I shouldn't. And at times, I thought in the short term. Not on certain things, that's why I don't just run away. But I have thought in the short term, like, oh man, this is really, really going to, crush me maybe on here or something, or with a certain audience. And in some cases, guess what? There are some people out there that are shallow in the audience that, if something happens, you don't get a second chance with them. That's true. That is true. It can hurt you growing on YouTube. Things can slow you down just a tiny, tiny bit. There's no doubt that there's some real to that. But is that what you hang your hat on? You know what? I was confident before I ever started making YouTube videos. I don't need your approval for my confidence or to believe in myself. Right? I'm not like other people. It's not concerning to me. If you approve of what I'm doing, that's great. There's positives to that. It feels good. I think I'm doing something for you and we're getting along. That's awesome. But if you think I need your approval to be confident in who I am and believe in myself, right? Believe that I have quality, that I have something worthwhile to give. If you think I need your approval to believe that, you're lost. I go on X and I'll see people say, how can you say something if you're getting like 0 likes? Like you're not getting much of a response. Well, first off, I know people are checking out what I say even if they don't respond to it. And people are picky. Not everyone's going to like it. And I don't care if I get a response or not. Here's the difference. I can speak out loud without obvious out front approval. And guess what I know? That regardless if people approve of what I'm saying or not, it affects them. But you would think, well, hey, if you're a short-term thinker, you would think, Well, you're not getting a response. So that means you're not doing anything. Wrong. Very wrong. You know, to speak the truth or to be honest, a lot of that doesn't get you a thumbs up. But it affects people. But it doesn't get you approval. That's why most people that are on X or on YouTube play games, lie and deceive. Because to play games to manipulate you is usually how they get a lot of approval. Some of the biggest YouTubers or biggest X accounts that you see on these social platforms are people that pretty much lie every time, or they deceive in what they're saying, even if there's truth. I'm raw, I'm authentic, right? You'll hear people say, be authentic, and I'm like, yeah, even the people that say that aren't authentic, right? Everything is to get approval from most people. When you meet someone like me, it's weird because you'll be, if you're in the audience, a lot of people assume that approval actually means you're credible or you're worthwhile. You're worth listening to now that you have this many followers. No, dude, I was worth listening to before I ever had a single follower. And I know that about me. I know you put me in a room, I can compete with anyone. Put me on the stage, I can compete with anyone. Put me live, I will draw people. Even if people want to be mad at me, I know my quality. I know I have talent. I know I have the it factor. I know I have charisma. I know I have all these things for being someone out in the public eye. Right? But I'm just, at the same time, I'm very honest. Now, do I want to get somewhere? Would I like to have that turn into something for me? Yes, but I realize I don't want to be fake for the rest of my life. I've never been that way. And I know there's very few people that are truly authentic, truly who they are, truly honest with you. I'm honest about my errors and mistakes. And, you know, that, again, that can make some people look the other way. But I realize, do I really want people that are shallow, that look the other way so easily when you're honest about your errors or the fact that, you know, you're human? When you're honest about that and they look the other way, do you want that person in your audience supporting you? No, I really don't. I want people that are not like that. And I really do believe in the long run, though, those people are the majority of people out there. That center reasonable group of people, I think, are the most that exist. I just think the shallow people, you know, people with certain strong opinions, they're on the fringes, but they're so loud that a lot of people think they represent the majority. So if they tell you, oh man, you did bad, time to cave in, until you realize the majority doesn't give a fuck. They don't care about that, and they're willing to forgive mistakes. Look, you might come out and say it, and you're not going to get all kinds of approval on the video or the statement where you're honest about your errors, right? But guess what? In a week, when you put out a good video, or you do your stream, and you go through your thing, they're fine with it. That's it. Like they'll forget what you've done a week before. As long as you're honest, it's easy to put that on the back burner. It's only when you lie and you deceive people that lie can roll with you. Now, in certain echo chambers that won't like you, they can run with a lie or with something where they twist what you were saying into deceit. Like you haven't done anything wrong, but they'll make it look like you've lied, and then they'll run with it. The great thing is, it seems to only be able to really work in echo chambers. And when you stop going after an echo chamber, when you look at an audience in an echo chamber and you go, I don't want you. I don't want your support. I don't care about your content creators. All power is taken away from them. All power over you is gone. Completely gone. They need you to react, and they need you to care for them to matter. And when you don't, they don't matter. That's the issue. That's the issue. They'll realize in the long run. Might take them a while, but they'll realize they don't matter. They'll be narcissistic, deceitful. It will be the way it is. They'll accuse you of what they are guilty of. They'll do all kinds of things that are just outright deceit. It's on you if you care about that group and give them the time of day. If you don't, again, all power gets stripped away from them. I realized that a long time ago. So it's good, but at certain points, yeah, I mean, it can be hard to really have the wisdom to even know that. You have to go through some shit and get out on the other side. But how you do that is you fall down and you get back up. I have failed more times than I'll ever succeed in life. And if you give up after failure, you're done. And that's what people are out there, a lot of people are out there hoping that when you fail, you'll give up and you're done. I've never given up in my life. So I'll tell my haters out here, don't think you've won anything. You'll never win anything from me. That's just how it is. I don't care if I make a mistake. I'll fall down, get back up. And I have the patience to get through the short term. I understand how the long term works. I understand it all. I really do. So I'm not afraid of failing. And that's a good thing. It's the only way you can succeed out here, especially when you're taking a harder road than other people. It's easy to deceive and get a lot of approval, get a big following, make money on here. I have no delusion. I don't expect this to ever pay my rent. That was never my aim. It's one of those things where, hey, if it puts a few extra dollars in my pocket because of my hard work, well, that's what you always appreciate when you're working hard, right? But I've never had a delusion where there's an expectation that happens for sure, right? So a lot of people like to look at you a certain way and just paint a certain picture of who you are. They just don't know you, and they don't even try to get to know you. They hear some videos, they see some statements, and there's just a shitload of assumptions that they will make about you. And it's usually under a circumstance that they don't like something you said. So there's something that rubs them the wrong way about you. It doesn't mean you rub all people the wrong way. They just don't like certain opinions. And if they encounter you before they hear these opinions, look at the early relationship you can have with some people. It can be great. They can like you. Clearly, you don't just naturally rub them the wrong way. But the second they hear the thing they don't want to hear, now it's an issue. Now there's assumptions. Now there's a false picture being painted about who you are. I get a lot of people can't appreciate honesty. They just can't appreciate it. But they can still look past whatever mistakes, like I said, the vast majority of people, and let it go. It's hard for people to see people being weak out here and respect it. It really is, right? It can look like a very negative thing to a lot of people, even to good people, just how it is. I've known that forever, yet I'm still real. You know what I could do when I make mistakes? I could sweep it under the rug and get away with it. I know that. I know my haters don't realize that. But I could. They could put out videos on me. They can do this. And I can just sweep it under the rug and get away with it. And that would make them really mad. I know but that's the mediocre world that gets built up, especially online. You can make major mistakes. You can even just get busted lying for real. You sweep that under the rug and say nothing. Now, you think I would take advantage of that, maybe, if I made a mistake. Why not just sweep it under the rug? But how do I learn? How do I put pressure on myself? And how do I convince you that I'm an honest person? See, you might even sour on me being honest at first, but it's the long run that becomes a very important thing. It will be months from now where you can sit back and go, you know what? Because you'll see other people be deceitful about their mistakes. And you'll look back and go, well, at least Steven has the the courage to come out and say something. He had the backbone to be honest. And you'll respect it then. It's just something I know we're not there yet, right? But it's something I have to do now, show you my weaker side, but it's later when you'll respect that honesty. That's when it will mean something. That's how that works, right? It's sour to make mistakes. I totally admit it. And when there's a lot of people that pretend that you're pretending that you're up here on some throne in certain ways, they can paint a false picture of you, and then any mistake is, oh, we're taking you off the throne. Well, dude, I wasn't trying to sit on any certain throne that wasn't made for me to begin with. That's just where you assume I'm trying to sit. You try to put me there. Obviously, that's why you can't let it go and ignore me. I'll notice a lot of guys out here that will say insulting things about me, and I don't think they realize the things they say are true what other people are talking to. I'm like, well, if it's an issue with me and you're saying it's bad because Well, bad because it's related to me. Isn't it bad because he has that issue too over here? Have you stopped to think about what you're saying? Like, how many people are you attacking when you attack me? Do you stop and realize that? I hear all kinds of things about me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not perfect, fair enough. I'll look over at other people that are in the same boat, and I'll be like, well, if I'm a loser because of it, you're saying that guy's a loser, that guy's a loser, that guy's a loser. But you'll say, no, that's not what you're saying. But the detail says, you say if somebody, it's true about somebody, they're a loser. Well, then that guy's a loser, everyone's a loser. That's what you're saying about people. You're not just saying it about me, you're just using something as an attack. But when we really examine it, there's an issue. Oh, I don't have a perfect background. Right? I don't have a perfect background. Do you know how many guys that will sit out there and say, oh, look at the background, oh, what a bum. And then they'll go on a stream with a guy who has an even worse background, and I'm like, well, that means you called that guy a bum too. Are you acknowledging it? What about that guy over there that you talked to? He's a bum too? Not very bright, right? Your haters are usually not that bright. And people that are shallow are usually not that intelligent. At least not in every area. It doesn't mean they're completely stupid on everything. But socially, they'll be very dumb. I just wanted to let you know that, yeah, don't ever worry about me. Even to the people that support me. Don't worry about me. I don't mind being honest about mistakes. And as long as I'm talking to fair-minded people, and that's who I'm growing with, I'm not concerned about losing support. Not for mistakes. Look, I would be concerned if I was lying to you and deceiving you, right? And people find out that that's exactly what I'm doing. Well then, hey, yeah, maybe I should lose support. Not maybe, I should. And I'd be worried about it, I guess. Well, if I'm a deceitful person, maybe I wouldn't care. Who knows, right? But either way, I mean, that would be a thing. When you're honest and you're talking to honest people, you have confidence. And when you know how this really works, you have confidence. I'll tell you guys, you will see me make more mistakes going forward. You will, because I'm a public person. I'm out here. Everything's out here to be seen. So you'll see me make mistakes. You'll see me follow my face. But here's what else you're going to see. I always get back up. I always move forward. And I'll never back off. I will always be here. You can take that to the bank. Right? You can take that to the bank. And I'll never just fold up. And why would I? I'm an honest person, right? And you think if I've been this way this entire time, after the decades of public speaking and over 10 years on YouTube, if I was going to fold up and leave, it would have already happened. I don't care what insecure people think. See, they don't get it. Their attacks on me would work on them. Doesn't work on me though. That's the difference between us. All right. I could sit here with a smaller YouTube account, and I know guys with much bigger followings on here that would fold in half if they had to even put up with 5% of the heat that comes my way. They couldn't handle it. They know it, and I know it. So, that's a dead horse in the water. They're not going to go too far if things don't go their way. I'm not. I'm strong. I'm always going to get up and be in the race. There you go. I don't chase dragons. Dragons chase me.